We're Gucci.
Oh, are we?
What's wrong with you?
What? Oh, good Christ.
I'm Travis.
I'm Bubba. We're the Bottle Brothers.
And I'm ashamed.
Of what? Of me?
A little bit.
Aw, that's a shame.
Man, that's good right off the nose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, we're taking a look at GLEN Scotia 15 today. This is one of my favorites, since we're sort of pulling a couple of bottles out of our rear end today. Thought we'd take a look at one of my favorites. I just want to drink this. We're not doing a review today. Cut it.
I get a lot of honey right off the nose.
Oh, yeah. So, I'll talk about where this comes from briefly, because I want to do a whole video on the Campbelltown region. This comes from the Campbelltown region of Scotland, which is a very small little area on a peninsula. This is from that area, and when you get a whiskey from that area, typically it's extremely harsh and wants to knock your teeth out. It wants to steal your wife and murder your kids. It's awful. It's very tasty, but very strong and unfriendly.
How does this compare to the Islas of Scotland?
This is like Islas on steroids.
Really?
The whiskeys from Campbelltown.
Now your Lagavulin and Lefroy, those are Islas, right?
Yes, and this is from an area that's known for being a little bit more iodine, like wet medicine, but you have a little bit of an exception here with the GLEN Scotia distillery.
It's definitely not what you get on the nose.
No, absolutely. The GLEN Scotia distillery is one of the smallest distilleries in all of Scotland, and really not very easy to find everywhere as far as liquor stores and bars. I'm very lucky that we have it here, and I've been trying to find a bottle for myself. I've only been able to drink it at bars, and I want to find a bottle. So let's talk about the nose real quick.
Like I said, a whole lot of honey right off the bat.
But there's smoke behind it.
Yeah.
There's a really nice, gentle smoke behind it. Not like a harsh, carbon smoke.
It's not the peat that you normally get from Scotches.
And with a deep whiff.
A little bit.
Of like, that smell, like that sweet smell of gasoline? Like when you're pumping gas and it's just a little bit interesting smelling?
I guess.
Help
I'll
me
agree
out.
with you for the video's sake, yeah.
Help me out.
I know
here,
what
man.
you mean.
Take a deep whiff and tell me you don't smell a little bit of like that gasoline, like that smell of gasoline. Right behind it. Right behind everything.
Maybe the tiniest bit. But I think you might be stretching here.
Let's put it on the palate and see what happens. There's the smoke.
Yeah. Smoke really stands out.
And it falls away.
Falls into peat. Unless that's just me.
No, it does. There's a little bit of peatiness in there. And then there's the floral sweetness.
Yeah.
All the honey and all that vanilla sweetness is all in the finish.
That floral sweetness really pops out.
Goodness gracious.
Is that because of the smoke and peat that you're getting at the front? That when it dies out, the florals really stand out?
I think that's it. Oh, it's so good!
Man, that is good. I'm going to refresh my palate.
Do it. Oh, this is so good. So, this is everything that I look for personally in a Scotch. It has a little bit of smoke, a little bit of sweetness, a lot of complexity. There's a lot going on in this glass.
Yeah, there is.
And a lot of value. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Too much going on in the glass.
There's a lot going on in here. This is not a sit around and talk with your friends whiskey. This is definitely a sit down by yourself, maybe with a book or, with something you want to listen to, some good music.
Something you're going to focus on.
Exactly.
Now I'm getting hints of vanilla in the nose.
Absolutely. Honey and vanilla. The smoke takes a back seat on the nose. It's still there. Just, it's so good!
That is a fantastic whiskey. Fantastic Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
Scotch is whiskey, but
Yes, it is.
yeah. You know what I mean.
Oh, I do. Oh, on the second taste, there was no smoke. This, as it sits in the glass, the smoke dies away.
What is that called? When you let it air out.
Just oxidation. There's some air in there now, and it's reacted a little bit.
So the last thing you want to do when sitting down with a nice bottle like this is pop it open and chug a good shot of it.
No, actually, if you're gonna pay some money for any whiskey, I recommend taking a small taste the moment you open it, and more often than not, that's gonna be the worst taste you get in the entire bottle.
Oh yeah.
Because all of the fumes have been sort of doing their thing in the bottle. Exactly. And
building up, and then as soon as you release that, it's gonna, everything that comes through there is gonna have those fumes.
Absolutely. When you let a little bit of air, it's like good wine. They actually sell wine aerators that will aerate your wine.
Yeah.
If you let that naturally happen in the glass with a glass of whiskey, I've actually heard like a little myth, an old wives' tale. For every year in the cask, a minute in the glass. So apparently, and I don't think it's actually a science, if you let this sit for about 15 minutes, that's when you're going to get the most out of it.
Okay. But now this, you were telling me before that this is not necessarily only 15-year-old Scotch in the glass.
Yes, so
or in the bottle.
Yeah, what this is going to mean is that the youngest whiskey in this bottle is going to be at least 15 years old. They're making a blend here of different barrels of single malt. So that's going to be, there could be a 20-year-old barrel in here. There could be a 17-year-old barrel in here. You never know.
So this is blended, but it's still single malt.
Yep. So when you're making a blend of whiskeys, single malt means one grain at one distillery. It does not necessarily mean one barrel. So they're blending multiple barrels from the distillery to make this.
Exactly.
Man,
that's one thing that a lot of people get confused on.
Absolutely. And we'll do an entire video dedicated to understanding whiskey aging and what it means and why it is. But in the meantime,
that is really good. I'd actually never had this before.
Yep. So let's give it a rating.
Right.
I'm going to be a little biased just because this is absolutely one of my favorites. For friendliness, this is not super friendly.
No.
It's definitely not harsh like you'd expect from a Campbelltown whiskey. I'm going to give this a 7 as far as friendliness.
You're a little biased. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be something you want to start out with.
Oh,
that
absolutely
is
not.
For sure.
This is definitely an advanced level.
If you've been drinking Scotch before and you're a little bit familiar with the Campbelltowns, then I could see giving it a 7 or possibly even an 8.
Right.
But I'm gonna go with a 6 for this right now.
Absolutely. Complexity, that's where this one shines. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10.
I would give this a 10 out of 10 too.
There's so much going on.
I am completely unbiased. I've never had this Scotch before, but there is so many flavors behind the honey, vanilla, the smoke, the little bit of peat that you get, that there's just so much more to find that it's almost too difficult.
Absolutely. As I'm sitting with this glass, I'm finding more things as I drink it each time I take a sip. So 10 out of 10 for complexity. And then for value, that's also where this one shines. For a bottle of 15-year-old single malt in the state of Michigan, the state minimum on this is only about $85.
Really?
Only an $85 bottle for 15 years.
Wow.
Which I've not heard of. Maybe it's the fact that it's a small distillery. I have no idea, but this is only, if you can find it, in the state of Michigan, only $85 for a 15-year-old single malt this awesome.
That's where you get that's where the hard part comes in, is finding it.
Exactly. So
how long have you been looking for a bottle of this?
About 2 or 3 weeks now. But for value, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10.
From what you told me, I'd definitely give it a 9 out of 10 too.
Absolutely.
That is, you can't beat this.
Not with a stick. All right. What? Until next time, this has been Glen Scotia 15. I think that's all we have to say about it.
I think so.
Here's to Campbelltown.
Campbelltown.
Chug. No! I'm not going to chug this.
Oops.
Off, Marshall. Oh, I got a little bit of burn there.
Oh, it's so good!